ready? Işıklar lütfen.
Geliyor.
Ready?
Just second. Su yanmadı. Evet.
Ready. Hazır. 3, 2, 1, gönder.
Hello, good morning, good evening. Maksut Askar is the one of the best chefs in Turkey. I had the pleasure of having him on the set of my commercial, where the food styling challenge was quite big. But it worked out great. But today is not about that. After the shooting, we sat down for a coffee in his restaurant and we talked about a few interesting topics. What coffee means for Turks? How did the passion of being a food stylist transform Maksut into the one of the best chefs in Turkey? How to teach the young generation to accept tradition in the cuisine in these changing times? Why does Maksut not want creative people in his restaurant? Is it possible to reduce meat production in the world? And is Turkish pide better than pizza? Let us jump for a moment to the world that smells of Anatolian cuisine, and it's described with great passion by Maksut. Enjoy. Thank you, Maksut, that I can be your guest in your neolocal restaurant.
You are always more than welcome.
Thank you very much. And by the way, you are a guest in my podcast too right now. So
Exactly. So I'm your guest.
absolutely. So when I was coming to you, I was passing many bars where I could smell Turkish coffee today.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, thank you for the good coffee. And
Not
good
Turkish coffee, but it's
yeah,
okay.
I know. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. Can you describe, just briefly, at the beginning, what coffee is for Turks and what coffee is for you?
Well, that's a good question. Actually, we are in a country that consumes a lot of coffee, even if we don't produce coffee beans.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes back to the Ottoman times, which their borders were including Yemen, where it is the place for coffee. So back then they found out about the coffee drinking habit of the locals in Yemen, and they took this culture to the palace.
Mm-hmm.
So it became a huge thing with them because they realized coffee was keeping them very up and high, so that all the Ottoman soldiers will be able to
Be stronger.
be stronger. When they were trying to invade Vienna,
Mm-hmm.
Austria, they were drinking coffee, and someone realized that the Ottoman soldiers are drinking something.
Mm.
And that's the actual story. Then they found about the coffee and they started making coffee, and this is how Italian coffee became a thing in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a funny story.
Yeah, funny.
Well, we will
I
never know the real actual story of it because we will never go back in
Sure,
the history.
in the
but,
history, yeah, exactly.
well, Turkish coffee is a thing in Turkey, and yeah, I love my coffee, and I'm a coffee person too, especially in the morning. So I already had my coffee. That's why I'm drinking tea now.
Okay. You have been a food stylist for 20 years? Or even
More than 15, which I didn't count, but
Okay.
I've been in the film industry, commercial industry, since '99.
What's so cool about being a food stylist?
For me, it's a hobby, it's a habit, it's a passion actually, because I always felt like the MacGyver of food when it came to food styling.
Yeah.
Trying to get to understand the
Challenges
dynamic,
all
yeah,
the time.
the
Yeah.
dynamics of the ingredients, and how can I overcome the challenges of the products, and welcome the needs, meet the needs of the director.
Yep. I ask you because yesterday we finished the shooting for the commercial project for the Pakistani brand. I must admit that I'm very happy to work with you.
Thank you.
Finally.
Yeah, finally we did it.
So because I love learning from food stylists. That's a reason why I always work with the best. You run a super fine dining restaurant, a local restaurant in the center of Istanbul. I'm so glad that I had you yesterday on my board. But tell me, why are you still making food stylization for the commercial with such experience? Do you still learn something on the commercial sets, or is it just making money? So be honest, we working in the commercial, so it's not a secret that sometimes it's about the money. Everyone knows that.
Well, it's all in one, I guess.
Sorry?
It's all
okay.
in one. So the only thing is, well, I've been doing it since more than 15 years, and
Yep.
yeah, I do have a restaurant, fine dining restaurant. I do have wine bars and many other business that is going on. But
What's the name of the wine bar?
Foxy.
Foxy Bar.
Yes.
Okay.
But on the other hand, well, I always chose my path according to what I'm willing to achieve in life. So I wanted my freedom of decision in life. And actually, food styling is one of them. I choose what will excite me. So I don't do every job because it's not my daily job. And I don't see it as a job. Yes, it has good money so that it can be, done. But on the other hand, I suddenly became one of the top 5 food stylists in Turkey. Maybe, 3 or 5. I don't know. I don't count.
Sure.
I don't see it as a competition, but I only accept the projects that I like. That will challenge me.
All right.
And I'm mostly busy, so I don't do too much food styling. I only do it with the team I like, the production company I like, the director I like, because I, at one point, know that they need my help too. So I would like to be a part of the project.
Yeah.
So this is how it is for me now. I think my biggest advantage is being a chef, because I know the dynamics of the ingredients and the techniques, the cooking techniques and ingredients. So I know where I might end up with a product, and that gives me the opportunity to only use the organic ingredients to reach to one point. But of course, in some occasions, we use the chemistry too.
Just let's keep to important part for our conversation. Okay. So your restaurant is located in a very nice place. Where is the Salt Galata Museum? So we are in a local now, like I said, which called the Modern Anatolian Museum Restaurant.
Yes.
I saw many times the word modern that describes you, but I want to ask you, what is tradition means for you?
What tradition means to me is what we bring to today from the past. The tradition is what we are used to in life. When it comes to food, the tradition is what we were used to use as an ingredient 50 years ago, and what we were cooking back then, and if we are still cooking it today. So that is tradition for me. And when it comes to modern, the idea of modern is bringing back the traditions to today's situation, today's dynamics, and mixing the traditions with the today's needs, the techniques and understanding and way of seeing, and converting without killing its essence, but enhancing its essence, converting into something that will be accepted in the future as a tradition. So what we are doing is to find ways to sustain the tradition in the future. so that the young generation, the new generation, will accept the traditions as they have seen today's norms. Because who will survive the traditions the most in the future is the young generation.
Yeah.
So we need to give them, because time changes and the young generation's understanding is different than ours. So we need to think like them and find ways to bring the traditions in a way that they will love it. So that they will take it, yes, this is my tradition with my new understanding, and I will carry it to the future. This is our challenge in Neolocal, to find out how we can achieve this and how we can train the young generation with the modern ways of thinking, so that the traditions will move forward.
How you recognize what new generation wants?
Well, I can see that. I mean, we all see
How?
it. By asking,
Okay.
by understanding, by learning, and by observing.
One question. When you say new generation for you, like a chef, who is that? This is your clients or the people on the streets? Or
I don't mind the clients. I mind the production part of it, because the client's needs might vary from time to time, and it can be educatable also.
Yep.
You don't cook whatever they are asking for, but you cook for them to ask for it. There is a slight difference. But what I want to tell about it is, I have guys in the kitchen, their average age is 24, maybe less, and they live in a city that is 20 million, and all they see is the buildings, and traffic and stress everywhere. So of course, more or less, they cook and they know the ingredients that they can eat, but they don't know where it comes from.
Exactly.
The small kids think that tomatoes are
From the
grown
store.
in the supermarket.
Yeah.
So in order for you to feel what you are cooking, you need to feel the cycles of the ingredients until they are cooked. So where it comes from, who waits for 8 months for it to grow and looks after it, and is there a respect to show? Yes, there is a respect to show. So you need to show this respect, because now you understand how difficult it is, the product coming in front of you so that you can cook. So that is something that you need to share with them, a philosophy that you need to share with the young generation. You don't teach them. They don't accept you teaching them unless they have a huge respect to you. Then they start learning from you. So it's a mutual understanding of both parties. So once they have the big respect to what I am deciding and I am showing the way, then they just learn from that understanding and philosophy, and they move forward. Now they are the soldiers of the sustainable tradition army in the future, as I see it.
What do you think? This new generation, they are creative because, like you say, they staying in the buildings. They don't have any chance to go on the farm, to touch a cow, to be on the greens. So the question is, how they are creative if they never been, in nature. They, of course, I can imagine they know, because they are working in your restaurants. But the question is, because I have a feeling that this new generation, they don't have such big creative parts in their mind like we are. I tell you why. Because they are bombing from everywhere, from the pictures, from the Instagram, from the Facebook, from the TV screens, for the building colorful advertisements and stuff like that. So they don't have any chance to go somewhere to switch off the phone and start to thinking differently. You know what I mean? So
I understand.
this question is about the creativity. You have a chance to meet them. So
Okay, let me ask you.
Yep.
Do you think all your body parts should be brains? Because your most important part.
You're right.
of the
No,
body.
no, you're right.
So every part has its own duty and job. So we don't need to have each person in the kitchen to be creative. So if I can catch like 10% of them as creative, then they will see what they are capable of while you are sharing with them your philosophy. They will see what they are capable of, and they will continue, and you will support them what they can be. Creativity comes with an intellect. So as long as you want to increase your intellectuality, then it comes with it naturally, but you need to explore it if it's there or not. If it's not there, then you just do something else within the premises. But if it's there, you can always be in the creativity world. For me, on my behalf, well, the luckiest part for me was, I guess, if I didn't study tourism, I would definitely study design. Yeah, that's for sure. I was thinking of it. Then one day I just decided, okay, I won't be able to go back and start from scratch and study design because I don't have this budget. So what can I do is whatever I do, I see from a designer's perspective, and I achieve as a designer's perspective. So that's how I started, and that's what changed in my life. So now I don't really see myself as a chef only, but I see myself as a person who has crazy ideas, that has the need to create every day. Actually, it's a hunger to create, and once you create something, then an empty space opens in your brain to create more. So that is why food styling actually feeds me in that creation process. So every time I solve things, I learn more, and I can solve more things, and it will never end at the end.
So you said that you feel like a designer. You feel like a designer when you tried to set up the dish on the plate, correct? Because it's very important part how to show yourself on the plate like a chef.
It comes naturally, I guess.
Yeah, I know.
And yeah, that's the
What
most
does it mean
important.
naturally? Because for different person, naturally means different things. So what's for you naturally?
Well, it's not an overthinking process in here. I sometimes think if I overthought on a dish that I create, what would happen? I never do that. But I see many famous chefs drawing the plates, designing them, working on it, study the recipes.
That was my question about the naturally, because when we saw many pictures from Instagram from other chefs, I still thinking that's naturally, or we start to copy someone.
Yes, that's the most important case. I agree. So this is how they are capable of designing a plate, and they do work on it. They do work on the recipe. They fine-tune the recipe, and they try, they change, then they finalize it. For me, it doesn't work like this. For me, I just already finished the plate in my brain once I start thinking of a dish. So I listen to you, for example, while I'm thinking, but I'm not listening to you because I'm thinking. So it's like not being able to chew gums while walking. Well, that's me. But I'm a fast thinker, so what I do is, let's think of a plate from scratch. I know what I want because I already solved it in my brain, and I tell the guys, okay, use this technique, use this ingredient, make this sauce and do this from the leftovers, just make something like this. And they just combine every ingredients, as I tell. They just do the preparation, and they don't know until the end what's going to come up with. I don't know either.
Wow.
So
Nice.
I only create the ingredients, and then finally we just combine the dish all together. And 99% of the time, it doesn't need a fine tuning because it's already fine tuned in the process. But of course, that is, well, I feel lucky and blessed because when I design a plate, it's always original, it's always unique. So, of course, I'm inspired by many things around. That is, I mean, inspiration is something different. So, and when I see something, I learn a technique that I didn't know before. Or when I travel, when I cook with a chef, I learn a technique that I didn't know before, so I can apply it with my ingredients, with my way of cooking. But I don't look for a book to replicate the same recipe. That's not me, because what I'm cooking is my traditions, and I can only copy my mother or my grandmother, but no one else, because that will reflect what I'm doing in here. So I just combine the techniques that I learned, that I gather, with the techniques of my mom and grandmother, or many grandmothers or moms around Anatolia, to see how can I express the taste of this tradition in a better way in a plate. So each dish is really thought well before it was on the plate. So it's a long overthinking process.
Yep.
Rather than having a copy of it or making trials of the recipes. But that's how we do it.
Before our shooting, I came back from Sicily, so I really love the cuisine. I have a question for you. What kind of pizza would Maksut Askar prepare for an Italian?
Well, I think I wouldn't prepare them pizza because I don't do pizza in here. Oh, well,
It's easy.
I think I would definitely take them to a good pide place.
All right.
Very good pide place.
What is pide place? Can you explain?
Pide is pizza. I mean, in Turkish.
What is the difference between Italian and Turkish one?
It doesn't have that much of difference, but
All right.
depending on the regions, we don't do mozzarella, but we use mozzarella-like cheese. And it's all around Anatolia anyways. So they have this huge similarities, but it's differences from region to region, part to part. Especially in Black Sea region, pide is very famous. And I had the chance to have this food trip for a week in Black Sea region, and I tried all of the pide shops. I mean, most of the best pide shops on this region. So I would definitely take them to a very good pide place, so that without discussing if it came from Italians or Turkish, because it's senseless, but let them see how we make it. I mean, and let them find the differences and similarities between them, because it's a sharing process. Think of tortellini, think of mantı in Turkey, but think of dumplings in China. It's the same.
Yep.
It's the same idea.
We have a pierogi in Poland.
Exactly, pierogi. Yeah, you have. So it would be stupid to call Polish tortellini to pierogi, right?
True.
So it's pierogi.
Yeah, but right now this is a good moment to ask you. Do you remember?
Arkadaşlar sessiz olur muyuz?
too loudly right now, but it's working.
They started.
New generation. So this is a good moment to ask you, do you remember something from our cuisine, Polish cuisine? Anything left on your mind when you been there in Poland?
Oh yes.
Tell me.
I might not be good at the names.
Alright, never mind. But what do you remember?
Well, when I was in Poznan, so we were traveling around in the farms and the villages. They took us for a breakfast or lunch, I don't remember. But it was a huge table with a huge feast. And they told me that, oh, we do this varieties of dishes and the tables only at the weddings. And I just told them, I want to get married every day in here. Because it was having all this large charcuteries, the idea of using large for many things, and the pierogies, and also in Warsaw I've been to this local, let's say the restaurant used to be in the communist times. All these old ladies are it's just like a canteen of a big company. So, but it works as a restaurant.
Yeah, we call this bar mleczny.
Yeah, that was interesting. I know how hard it is to retain your traditions from the times before the communist regime, because the communist regime somehow wants to kill the traditions so that they can create a new identity of the community. But now you are gaining it slowly in Poland, but still it is still good to see such culture remaining, to get to understand how it was such an effect negatively for the cuisine of Poland.
Yep. I know that you know Aleksander Baron,
Yes.
chef from Poland. I love his philosophy. It's from nose to tail.
Yes.
So if you decide to kill an animal, nothing can be waste. So as you know, we have an overproduction of the meat all over the world, so that the quality of food for me is getting worse. Where industrial livestock farming is running our ecosystem. What is your approach to meat quality?
Well, in Turkey, actually, if we should discuss the quality of the meat products, I would definitely say lamb. Lamb is, with the given comments on of many chef friends of mine from all over the world, and also I traveled a lot, and I had the chance to eat many different lambs from the world. I think we have the best lamb
All right.
to cook. But on the other hand, given this moral system, we do have this farmer. He's a young generation farmer, and he supports all the farmers that owns a breed of lamb, which is called Karayaka from Black Sea region. So he supports them to grow the lamb, and somehow he found a way to process the meat and deliver it to all around Turkey. But unfortunately, it is all, preparing things for the needs of your customers. That's the problem of capitalist system. This guy always, he's not happy with what is left in his hands. So he can sell the lamb chops, he can sell the racks, he can sell the saddle a lot, but he cannot sell the neck.
Mm-hmm.
He cannot sell the shoulders and legs
Mhm.
that as much as selling the others. So he's left with that parts.
Mhm.
So he needs to find a way to process that part of the meat too.
Mhm.
So that's important. So what we do in here at Neolocal is we only use the neck because I know it's leftover and I know it's super delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And why don't people buy the neck of the lamb anyways? That's what we are trying to do.
I believe that people like you, such a top chef, should pay attention to this direction. I think about the because, like I said, we have an overproduction of
Yeah.
the meat, for sure. So some time ago, the campaign, which was called Meatless Mondays,
Yes.
was born in the United States to reduce the amount of the meat. Do you think that such campaigns make a sense?
I don't know if it helps reduce the production of the meat, but I know that it increases the awareness of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good thing, and I hope that they add the Tuesday too, or Sunday too.
Okay. Okay.
But
Good point.
the world comes to a stage where that will be way more important than it is now in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So we
Why?
need to. The supply won't be enough for the demand at one point.
Mhm.
But the balance of the demand around the world is not equal. But unfortunately, within the given system of the politics, we won't be able to balance it with huge powers, but with personal efforts. So, Meatless Monday is to encourage the personal effort to be as equal as possible within the humankind.
Mm-hmm.
Alex is not happy with the Meatless Monday.
Yeah. No, but to be honest, he care about the good quality.
Yeah. That's
it's-
important.
this is thing for him.
I have a very good chef friend of mine from Vienna.
Okay.
He has vegetarian restaurant.
All right.
He's not vegetarian.
Wow. So because it's the business, because it's the good business for him to.
I don't know.
What is the
But
reason? What is the philosophy to?
His vegetarian restaurant is one of the best vegetarian restaurants in Europe.
Oh,
But he eats meat.
yeah. Good.
That's
good.
a cute story.
So, in a moment, we will talk about the league of the best chefs in the world. Are you joining? Just a sec. But first, what is your approach to awarding prizes? Why don't you have a Michelin star yet?
There's no Michelin star system in Turkey, that's why.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so in order for a country to have Michelin stars, mostly the government pays for like 500,000 to 1 million euros for Michelin stars.
Okay.
To
For the
open,
inspectors?
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
okay.
open an office and bring inspectors. So we didn't have in this country yet, but it might come one day, which I'm fine with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't seek for it like crazy
Mm-hmm.
because we will continue doing whatever we do, and if someone appraises whatever we do, it's more than welcome. We're
Sure.
fine with it. Marketing is marketing.
Absolutely. I'm agree. We are working together
Exactly.
for the commercials.
Exactly.
Are you watching competitors on your market? Like other chefs?
We're good friends.
All right.
Actually, when I don't see a competition. I mean, I don't see anyone as my competitors, but I know that people think that there are some restaurants that are our competitors. So that is how I know there are restaurants, I mean, they can compete. But on the other hand, for example, there are now 3 restaurants which do modern Anatolian in a fine dining level. We all are different. We all have a different philosophy and understanding of service. So we all are good. I mean, at what we do. I find it senseless to compare if it's me better or them better than I am. At the end of the day, our aim is exactly the same, bettering our traditions for the near future to be accepted. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think more or less I know right now what is the situation in your country about the cuisine, about the food styling, about the best chef position in your country too. So I hope to meet you in Amsterdam in September together.
Are you going to be there?
I think so. I think so.
Do you know the guys, the best chef award?
No,
guys?
not yet. But I have some kind of idea to meet with them, maybe to make some interview with the podcast.
Nice.
But I have a friendly tabletop studio in Amsterdam, which called Chuck Studio. Let's see. Maybe it will be good reason to meet each other.
Well, if I happen to go.
Yeah, of course. I think
see.
even not is a good trip.
Yeah. Sure. Amsterdam is always. It's been a long while that I haven't been to Amsterdam though.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Take care and see you next time.
Thank you.
If someone would like to have a look at Maksut's work, his stylization and what he plans next, go on his Instagram Maksut Askar. I love working for tabletop commercials in Turkey. It is a different work system than in Poland. But when it comes to a friendly approach and willingness to work, I feel at home there. Enjoy your meal.